So I met you because of Mickey, kind of. But only kind of, because I'm sure that's why people think I know you.
Yeah, no.
And I was filming at Palm Springs Comic Con or somewhere, and it was like, and the lady that invited me, who was running part of the con, was like, you got to film our special guest, because we've got Bret Iwan, the voice of Mickey Mouse. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But at cons, you can't just walk up to celebrities with a camera. And a lot of the ones at conventions, that's how they're making their money, with the selfie picture.
Sure, yeah.
And there's some conventions where the staff that they hire,
they'll come after you.
They'll come after you. That's their whole job. It's like, I'm looking for cameras, I'm going to scream. So even though they gave me permission, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then we'll fast forward to actually getting there, and it's you and Bill Farmer, who does Goofy, alone at this table. And we're there on a kind of dead night, and there was no one around.
Dead weekend.
They put you in a weird corner in this airplane museum where like no one had to walk close to you either. So I was like, there is no way I can even point a camera over there without you guys just seeing it. And I was like, it feels so rude. So I ended up just like, I'll deal with that later. Yeah. Walking past, and I never ended up talking to you at all. And then like in my head, it feels like the next day, but I'm sure it was a couple days later. I was supposed to go to Knott's Berry Farm, and Travis that worked on the train was like, oh, we're going to film you, and you can film, and I'll teach you to drive the train. Cool. So we meet with Travis, and Fake Tyler's there, and it's super early in the morning. And I always tell this story. Your mom loves this story. And it's literally true. It's like a 1940s movie, because we're standing next to the locomotive. They're firing it up. There's steam coming out of this train, like old-timey 40s. And Travis is talking about, oh, your fireman, you're going to meet your fireman. He's the guy on the other side of the fire engine, this guy Bret, and you're going to meet him. And he goes, oh, here he is. And out of the fog, you're walking through the steam coming out of the train.
Slow motion.
And I'm looking at you, and it's just your silhouette. And I'm like, he looks really familiar. And he's like, oh, this is Bret. That's the first time he said your name. This is Bret. And I'm like, Bret Iwan? And then in my head, and then you go, yeah, I saw you the other day or whatever at the Palm Springs. We didn't end up getting to say hi or whatever. And then I was losing my mind, like, Mickey Mouse works at Knott's Berry Farm? Because if you grew up in Orange County, that's like, those things don't go together. Disney, Knott? What? You're working for the
At 5 in the morning, he's wearing overalls. And
and it's 5 in the morning, which
diesel,
I'm not used to. So I'm also like just tripping. Like, what happened? Somebody slipped something in my tea, right? Like, this is weird. And so we ended up, you were the fireman, which means controlling all the valves and blowing up things.
Building pressure for the locomotive.
You told Tyler, like, he's standing there with my camera by you on your side while I'm learning to drive this train. And you're like, oh, that pipe is 10 billion degrees.
Gosh,
don't touch this. Don't
crammed in this little corner
Try
next
not to die.
all these things that are going to burn you, and you're going to go deaf.
So I didn't know you at all. And I was like,
can you hear us?
Yeah. I didn't know if it was okay to, like, mention that you were there. And I was really worried from the beginning. I was like, oh no, these Disney people who might watch my videos might figure out you're there, and what if they harass you or whatever. And then you made a typical Bret joke. You were like, am I going to get my SAG rate for this or something like that? And I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't want to be on camera. And so the video, I kept you off camera like as much as possible, because I was like, oh, poor Bret, he didn't ask to get in this. It's all Travis' fault or something.
Now I know why.
And then at the end of the video, you were like, oh, I wasn't in it much or something. I was like, oh, I blew it.
What's the whole thing? I was barely in it.
And the whole day,
I looked like angry the whole time.
I'm like, well, it's because I was deafening you at that.
Oh, well, there's that. I'm also trying not to blow us all up.
I didn't know that you could just pull it a little. Yeah. Because Travis kept saying, yeah, pull it all the way down. No. So I'm going, and you're over there going.
All of Buena Park's like,
how was he not used to that whistle? But I didn't realize that.
No, well, because I couldn't wear earplugs, because then you can't hear the communication of the cab.
Right. But what are you doing driving a train at Knott's Berry Farm in the first place?
Having a blast. That was my mid-30s, like, awakening, where I was like, I'm done being the shy Bret who's like...
Do they not pay him to do Mickey? Like, does he have to work here? I did not understand.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like it was kind of slow for a few years. Very early on in my Mickey career, I tried to reach out to Disneyland. And I was like, I'm a huge train fan. I would love to learn how to operate these steam trains. Like, can I? And I never got any response. And then if I did start to make connections, people were like, oh, you cannot. That's like so hard to get to. I was like, okay, fine. Then I started thinking, well, what about Knott's? Like, that'd be fun. So I did just apply once. I went down. I did the whole apply thing, and the guy in the office was like, you seem a little overqualified for this. And I was like, Well, maybe, but I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I want minimum wage. I'll work 40 hours. I just want the experience.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed this portion of our Random Land conversation, check out the full conversations by becoming a member. It's down below in the description, all the details, and you can see the 2.5-hour-long interview that we did with Mickey's friend, Bret, and so much more over there. We got podcasts and we got extra vlogs and all kinds of stuff. I just want to say really quickly before we see you real soon that the studio environment and the filming of the Random Land Conversations is sponsored by Fandom Productions. You can go to fandomproductions.com/Haunted Orange County to do all kinds of weird ghost tours and paranormal stuff all over the Orange County, Southern California area. So special thanks to them and my buddy Tyler for sort of producing it, getting everybody all in the same room. And of course, our special guest, Bret Iwan. Is that all? That's all for now. M-I-C. See you real soon. K-E-Y. Why? Because we like you.
Get out of here.